Chapter 37. Fury of the Earth. This episode starts 2 days after a soccer match between Lynn and her enemy Betsy Davis. Betsy broke her leg and now it becomes personal for her. I would like to thank JF Studios for the idea and inspiration. Me, Very, Eddie, Lynn's siblings, Volcana, Starfire, Argent, Raven and Tara, Jesse, and Clyde were trying to help Lynn after Betsy Davis broke Lynn's leg with a powerful kick to her shin. Lynn, this stinks. I can't play sports for 8 to 10 weeks. That stupid Betsy. I will destroy her for this. Lynn had vowed to get revenge on her for breaking her leg. Lincoln, why would Betsy break your leg like this, Lynn? Lynn, she's jealous of me, that's why. Starfire, that girl needs to be taught a lesson in respect and friendship. Me, I can't argue with that, Starfire. What she did was completely unacceptable. Very, I agree. Lynn, I'm going after her. Lynn looked at her with shock. Raven, why Very? Very, Betsy needs to pay for this. She deprived Lynn the use of her leg and we can't let her get away with this. Sports are Lynn's life and we have to make sure Betsy gets what's coming to her. Tara, I agree with you on that, Very. Me, she may have henchmen with her so we'll go with you. Linka, yet. We'll be Lynn's avenging angels, so to speak. Me, avenging angels. I like the sound of that. I pick up the phone and dial Betsy's number and she answers it. Betsy, hello? Me, hello, is this Betsy Davis? Betsy, this is she. Me, hello Betsy. My name is JD Knudsen and I'm a friend of Lynn Loud. The girl whose leg you broke. Betsy, oh. Called to congratulate me on breaking that loser's leg? Me, no. I called because we challenged you to a fight. Taunting unless of course you're a loser chicken. Clucks like a chicken. Betsy gets enraged. Betsy, infuriated, oh it is on. I will destroy you. Name the place and I will be there. Me, Royal Woods Park 20 minutes. And bring some friends. Be there or be square. Hangs up. Me, let's move out. 20 minutes later, me, Very, the EDS, the Loud Kids, Starfire, Volcana, Argent, Raven, Tara, Jesse and Clyde were at the park and we saw Betsy coming and she had 10 friends with her. They were all delinquent thugs. Lynn was with them in a wheelchair. Me, so you all came. Good, and we see that you know a street gang. Perfect. Betsy, yes. Now we will destroy you. I see Lynn is with you. Is she here to fight too? Me, no. She's gonna sit back and enjoy the show while we fight you to the finish. Cracks knuckles. Very, Luna, Lenny, Luan, Lisa, EDS, you guys stay back and watch Lynn. The rest of you come with us. This is gonna be rough. Luna, kick their butts, dudes. Me, we intend to. Very, you take Betsy. We'll take the rest. Very, you got it. Betsy, get them. We charge and the fight erupts into a full-scale massacre. Battle 1, Jesse vs Max. Jesse delivered a punch to Max's face, a kick to his crotch and stomach and a haymaker to his back and an uppercut to Max's chin. Max tried to fight back but Jesse blocked all his strikes with no problems. Max then pulled out a jackal dagger and tried to slash her but she hit his hand and knocked it out of his hand and leg swept him and kicked him in the back and sent him into the air and he landed on the ground with a big thud. Max was knocked out. Jesse took his knife and kept it as a trophy. Lynn, well. I don't think I've ever seen Jesse fight like that. Luna, she's a 9th degree black belt dude. Luan, she can punch their lights out. Rimshot and laughs, get it? Eddie, laughs, good one Luan. Battle 2, Lori vs Megan. Lori punched Megan in the nose and used her wind powers and blew her into a tree. Megan got up and charged and Lori dealt multiple kicks to her face and Megan was weak and tired and Lori headbutt Megan and knocked her out. Lori, wow. That felt good. Lenny, Lori is amazing. Lynn, no kidding. She pulverized her. Battle 3, Lincoln and Linka vs Tori and Corey. Lincoln, you guys are twins too. Tori, it's a living. Corey, we make the best out of it. Now let's see what you got. Linka, with pleasure. Lincoln and Linka worked together and punched them in the face, kicked them in the stomach, uppercut their chins, kicked their arms, and electrocuted them with their lightning powers, knocking them out. Luna, right on bro and sis. Lynn was proud of her little brother and sister. Battle 4, Lucy vs Gaz, not Invader Zim's Gaz. Lucy, so you're a goth girl too. Gaz, yes I am and I will destroy you. Lucy, bring it. Lucy spread her wings and punched Gaz in the mouth and knocked out her teeth and fired black lightning at her and it burned burned a hole in her clothes and Lucy saw bruises and more. Lucy, gasp. The gang has been abusing you, haven't they? Gaz, yes they have. How did you know that? Lucy, I can tell because of the bruises on your back. These are bad. I can also sense pain in you. Gaz, how would you know? You've never had your parents beat you up on a daily basis. You've never had to run away. Lucy, gasp. That is terrible what you've been through. You're right. I didn't experience what you went through but I can tell that you've had it worse than most people. Luna came over. Luna, that is awful what you went through, dude. Gaz, I am so sorry for what your parents did to you. Let's go sit down and you can tell us what happened. Gaz, okay. As Lisa was looking Gaz over, she explained her background. Gaz, my past has always been a dark one. My family has always been abusive to me. I come from the Chicago projects. Luan, I've heard about the Chicago projects. Living there is a death sentence. Gaz, for me it was a nightmare. My father was a raging drinker and my mother was a drug addict. But they started all that when I turned 8 years old. My parents would beat me up all the time because they saw me as a monster that needs to be destroyed. Crying, I ran away and I started a life of crime to vent my hatred towards my parents. I hate them. Luan came and hugged and comforted her. Luan, that is just awful. I'm sorry that happened to you, Gaz. Gaz, my real name is Shannon DeLiffey. Lynn, I'm so sorry, Shannon. We'll do everything we can to help you. What your parents did to you was unacceptable. Lucy, I agree. Do you have any family you can turn to? Shannon/Gaz, no. My dad killed them all. Crying hard, he destroyed and ruined everything for me. Eddie, oh man. That is horrible. Ed, Shannon, I am so sorry. No one should ever have to go through that. Ed, I agree with you on that, Double D. Shannon let out all her pain and sadness and was starting to feel better. Battle 5, Lainey vs Yuki, a girl that looks like Tenchi Universe's Yuki. Lainey was fighting Yuki and she headbutt her in the nose and punched her in the mouth. Lainey kicked her in the stomach, punched her in the back and roundhouse kicked her in the leg. Lainey used her plant powers and made a whip of poison ivy and lashed her across the back and poisoned her with the chemical in poison ivy. Yuki was itching like crazy. Lainey then knocked her out with a spinning axe kick to her face. Lainey, how's that for girl power? Lynn, wow. That was awesome. Lainey got her good. Battle 6, Lana and Lola vs Boomer, Brick, and Butch. No, it's not the rowdy rough boys but some kids that look like them. Lana and Lola fought the 3 boys and pulverized all 3 of them and blasted them with their fire and ice powers until they were knocked out. Battle 7, JD vs Tone. I was facing Tone and I punched him in the mouth and knocked out some of his teeth and kneed him in the chin and grabbed him and threw him into a tree, knocking him out. Me, that's for me, just for making me mad. Final battle, Very vs Betsy. Very punched Betsy in the nose, kicked her in the leg and sweeped her and kicked her in the back. Betsy went into the air and landed on the ground with a big thud. Very. That must have hurt. Without warning, a massive earthquake rattled the park. Me. An earthquake. I check my phone and see that the epicenter is right on top of where Lynn is and it measured at 9.5 on the Richter scale. Me. Tara, you are not causing an earthquake, are you? Tara. No, it's not me, guys. Me. If it's not you, then who? A tornado of dirt, rocks, and dust swirled around Lynn. Lainey. Another elemental choosing. When the tornado died down, Lynn was totally healed up. Lynn, what happened? I feel weird. Wait a second. Lynn held out her hand and caused a pillar of rock to form out of the ground. Me. Lynn, you have earth powers. Lynn, I do. Now it's time for some fun. Lynn then had a bunch of rocks float around her. She threw them at Betsy and they all hit her and she was knocked out. Me. We all won. We all start cheering as the cops arrive. Betsy and her delinquent friends minus Shannon/Gaz were arrested. Officer Paul. Nice work, guys. We've been after the street gang for years. Me. Thanks, Officer Paul. Betsy called on that street gang and we fought them and Betsy. Betsy broke Lynn's leg and she should be getting the maximum penalty allowed. Officer Paul. I can't argue with that. Are you guys okay after that earthquake? Me. Yes, we're all fine. Make sure those clods get it big time. Officer Paul. Oh, we will. Me. We became Lynn's avenging angels and challenged Betsy and that gang to a fight after Betsy broke Lynn's leg, and I can tell that all of our training literally paid off. Officer Paul. It sure did. Well, we're off to file charges on these clowns. Betsy, you will pay for this, Lynn. I will break out of jail and I will get even. I have my hand at her face. Me. Imitating Arnold Schwarzenegger. Talk to the hand. The cops all drove off. Back at the loud house, I was explaining what went down at the park. Lynn Sr. So you guys all fought and took down the ruthless Black Daffodil gang? Me. Is that the gang we fought? Very. Black Daffodil? These guys sound evil. Rita. They caused a huge number of problems over the last 5 years and they terrorized Detroit. Me. Whoa. That's terrible. Very. I had no idea we were fighting a vicious gang like that. Jesse. Lynn. I had no idea Betsy was part of such a vicious gang. Lynn. I had no idea either. Me. None of us did. But I'm glad we took them off the streets and ended their reign of terror. Tara. That's good. But how did Lynn get earth powers like me? Me. Let me check here. I look at my Legends book and discover a very strange occurrence. Me. Lynn was blessed by the earthquake of Guabansex, the goddess of volcanoes and earthquakes in the Caribbean Tanos tribe. Once every 100 years, Guabansex grants anyone worthy her powers of earth. They are given the powers of the earth and can form mountains, volcanoes, islands, and hills, as well as crystals, rocks and minerals, and possess winged flight. But it can only happen 2 days after a worthy soul has been injured. Very. And Lynn got injured 2 days ago. Lynn? Yet. Tara? Wow. That's amazing. Raven. I had no idea there were so many legends around the world, and most of these are how some of you guys got your powers. Lori. It literally surprised us, Raven. Lainey was the first of us to get powers. Volcana. This family has been blessed in more ways than one. Me. Earth is a very destructive and powerful force. Lynn. Yet. Tara. Do you think you can teach me how to learn more of my powers? Tara. I'd be more than happy to. Robin. When we first met Tara, she couldn't control her powers completely. We managed to figure it out. Tara. Oh, I had no idea, Robin. I'm sorry. Robin. It's okay. Beast Boy. I was shocked myself. There was a knock at the door and I answered it. It was the police chief, Douglas Malonex. Me. Chief Malonex. What can we do for you? Chief Malonex, the mayor has called you and everyone in this household to a special award ceremony at City Hall. We're on our way. At Detroit City Hall, the mayor had me, Very, Jesse, Starfire, Argent, Volcana, Raven, Lynn, Lincoln and Linka, Lucy, Lainey, Lana, and Lola there as he made his speech. My family was there too. Mr. Mayor, it is with great pride in the city of Detroit that I give the key to the city to you, JD. Knudsen, Very Knudsen, Jesse Bannon, Starfire, Argent, Volcana, Raven, and Lynn, Lincoln and Linka, Lucy, Lainey, and Lana and Lola loud for outstanding heroism in the capture and apprehension of the nefarious Black Daffodil Gang. He hands us each a key to the city and everyone applauded for us. My family is weeping tears of joy. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's truly a great honor. In all honesty, we had no idea that we were fighting a dangerous and vicious gang that's been terrorizing the city. Mr. Mayor, it happens most of the time. The members of the Black Daffodil Gang were found guilty of numerous crimes including murder, assault, and battery, arson, armed robbery, several weapons violations and numerous counts of theft. They were all sentenced to 5 consecutive sentences of life in prison without parole plus 4,982 years. Betsy Davis was found guilty of assault and battery and first-class conspiracy. She was sentenced to 25 years in prison and ordered to pay the Loud House $3 million in restitution. Shannon DeLuffy had her former parents arrested and she testified against them. They were found guilty of 4 counts of first-degree murder and were sentenced to 4 consecutive life terms plus 850 years for child abuse, drug possession, and more. Shannon was adopted into the Loud House and was in a new good home. The end. Another fanfiction completed. I wanted to add an action-packed fight to this story that involved everyone. Shannon's past was way dark, but I hope it doesn't sadden some people. The adding of a dangerous gang was totally not planned, but it was the first idea that came to my mind for the end of the story. Anyway, tell me what you all think. See you next time.